Hello, everyone, and welcome to EPCC's 20th Annual Hispanic Heritage Month Mentors Recognition Program. I'm your host, Mauricio Casillas, anchor and reporter for KVIA TV. Thanks so much for joining us virtually. Our theme for this celebration is Esperanza, a celebration of Hispanic heritage and hope. And we want to kick things off by hearing a few words from EPCC's president, Dr. William Serrata.
Saludos a todos. I am Dr. William Serrata, president of El Paso Community College. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 20th Annual Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. This past year and a half has been like no other in our lifetime due to the ongoing pandemic. And once again, this year's celebration of Hispanic heritage is being held virtually. However, while we have faced unprecedented challenges, we also have experienced resolve and a hope for a better future. Now, as we begin our second decade of Hispanic Heritage Month activities, it is important to reflect on how this pandemic hasn't stopped us. Rather, it exemplifies our Hispanic persistence, adaptability, perseverance, and determination. This is the month where we honor great contributions of Hispanics to our community and our nation. This year's theme, Esperanza, a celebration of Hispanic heritage and hope, truly reflects the present as well as echoes our past and our future. This is a special time when we remember and thank the Hispanic and Latino community for their important contributions to shape the future. As president of El Paso Community College and as a Hispanic, I am proud to share EPCC is nationally recognized for not only enrolling Hispanic students, but also for graduating them. Our college has cultivated intentionality around Hispanic student success. We must all work together to collectively support Hispanic students and all students on their path to success. These efforts will further contribute to our Hispanic heritage and ensure today's Hispanic youth are better prepared to be tomorrow's leaders. This month, as we embrace our culture, our accomplishments, and our collective impact, I invite you to enjoy the Hispanic heritage events that have been planned, including an engaging and insightful slate of speakers, as well as entertainment and art. I also congratulate each of the 2021 mentors and award recipients. Hispanic Heritage Month is an important time to reflect and honor our heritage. It is important to me because the Hispanic population in El Paso has an incredible influence. History and culture matter. I hope everyone participating in this month's events will appreciate and will strive to learn more about the significant contributions of our Hispanic community and our collective hope for a strong, prosperous future.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce our first musical act, Azúcar. The group's repertoire ranges from salsa, cumbias, and merengue to jazz and pop. The band has been showcased in cities all over the U.S. Members of the band include keyboardist Fernando Lechuga, his brother Juan, who plays bass, Adriana Lopez, she's the lead singer, Roman Lechuga, he's on percussion, Jesse Reza, also on percussion, Art Avila on drums, Joe Del Rio, trombone player, Joe Barriga, trumpet, and Hector Alvarez on sax. So sit back and enjoy Azúcar.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's all warm when he's away. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, and he's always gone too long. Every time he goes away. Wonder this time where he's gone, and I wonder if he's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, he's always gone too long. Anytime he goes away.
What a great performance by Azúcar. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Richard A. Castro. He's a businessman, educator, and community leader. He's been recognized for his unprecedented commitment to giving back to the community he loves. Castro is a former teacher, city manager, and realtor, and he also began his franchising venture with McDonald's in 1983. Since then, he's franchised 23 restaurants and hired more than 1,000 employees. Besides his accomplishments as an entrepreneur, though, he also helped create the Hispanic American Commitment to Educational Resources, or HACER, scholarship program that was in partnership with McDonald's. HACER is now celebrating its 28th anniversary and has now grown to become the largest scholarship program in the U.S. for Hispanic high schoolers. Since its inception, it's awarded over $21 million to recipients. Castro's other accolades include being named to the 2005 Hispanic Businessman of the Year by the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. He was also named Alumnus of the Year by his alma mater, Texas State University, in 1997. And he's also a member of the El Paso Business and El Paso Athletic Halls of Fame. So it's my pleasure now to introduce our keynote speaker, Richard Castro.
Greetings, and allow me to say that I am proud to have been asked to share my thoughts on Hispanic Heritage Month. It is a time to recognize the contributions and influence of the Hispanic community. Hispanics have always been involved in the growth and development of our country in one way or another. Whether it's ranching, farming, manufacturing, politics, education, fashion, entertainment, the military, our roots are deep and strong in every one of these industries. Let's review a few. Politics. Hispanics' participation and influence in politics continue to grow as our population and purchasing power increases. We are now about 19% of the country's population with a purchasing power of $1.9 trillion, and Hispanics' earning potential is growing faster than anyone else. Not only are the major political parties paying attention, but corporate America has realized that their future growth is dependent to a high degree on the Hispanic community. The U.S. Hispanic population is growing 6 times faster than non-Hispanics. The total GDP of U.S. Hispanics is over $2.7 trillion. That is higher than the GDP of Italy, Brazil, or South Korea, as an example. U.S. Hispanics account for nearly 80% of new businesses created in the last decade. In education, if we are having an impact on anything, it's on education. From universities, law schools, medical schools, from pre-K through 12th grade, dedicated Hispanic educators are having a huge impact on preparing our youth for the future. And this is an area where we cannot relax. The future success of the Hispanic community, in fact of the country, depends on how well our young people are prepared. Fashion. Oh my goodness, in fashion, we are the trendsetters. Our females, our young adults, our teenagers, check out how they stay ahead of the trends, and before you know it, they are the trends. Our Hispanic fashion designers have a history of being recognized. Oscar de la Renta became internationally known in the 1960s as one of the designers who dressed Jacqueline Kennedy. He had fashion houses throughout the world. Oscar was constantly being recognized by the fashion industry. He was also recognized by King Carlos of Spain with 2 awards, as well as the French government. And then there's Carolina Herrera. Started in the 1960s, she appeared on the International Best Dressed list in 1972 and inducted into its Hall of Fame in 1980. She has dressed First Ladies Jackie Kennedy, Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, Melania Trump, as well as Caroline Kennedy at Jackie's request, and Princess Diana. She has received many awards, to include the American Academy of Achievement and the Couture Council Award for Artistry and Fashion. Entertainment is an industry that we had an impact from the beginning, and our roots go back to the silent movies. However, in this industry, we are still underrepresented. Some Hispanic leaders are starting to bring this concern to the forefront. However, this does not take away from the successes those early path makers had. Some of you may not have heard of them, but you might find them interesting. Myrtle Gonzalez, the first Hispanic female movie star, made 78 movies from 1913 to 1917 during the silent movie era. She died at a young age of 27 from the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. Gilbert Rowland started in silent movies in the early 1920s and had a career that spanned 7 decades until the 1980s. Nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards and inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Born in Juarez, Chihuahua, his family moved to El Paso when Pancho Villa invaded Juarez. At 14, boarded a freight train to Hollywood, slept at the Catholic Church, and worked at odd jobs until he made it in the movies. But he appeared in 128 movies and TV shows. He played the role of Cisco Kid. In the area of military, the Hispanic community has always been loyal to our country, and our young Hispanics have been ready to step up and defend our country. Families take pride in having their son or daughter serve and proudly display their picture in military uniform in their homes. We have had 61 Medal of Honor recipients, the first being Joseph de Castro during the Civil War at the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863, shortly after the Congress had authorized the Medal of Honor. The most recent Hispanic Medal of Honor recipient is Leroy Petrie from Santa Fe, New Mexico. He served in the Afghanistan War and was honored in 2011. Even though all 61 Medal of Honor recipients have outstanding, emotional, and courageous stories, I have picked one story to share with you. During the Vietnam War, Roy Benavides, an Army Special Force Master Sergeant, was awarded the Medal of Honor for various actions of valor in combat. Listen to this. While on duty in 1965, he stepped on a landmine, and doctors told him that he would never walk again. They did not know about his tremendous inner strength, his self-determination, and his pride. At night, after the medical people had left, he would work his way off the bed. Under tremendous pain, he would push himself to crawl to the wall, using the windowsill to lift himself in order to work his legs. With great encouragement from the other soldiers in his medical ward, some who were paralyzed and others who had lost some limbs, he went through this unsanctioned rehab night after night. A year later, he walked out of the hospital with his wife at his side. In 1968, he returned to South Vietnam. Benavides heard on the radio that a special force patrol was surrounded by the enemy, and he heard their plea for help. He boarded a helicopter, and once they got to the trapped soldiers, he jumped from the helicopter with a medical bag and armed with just a knife. A North Vietnamese soldier attacked him and stabbed him with a bayonet. Benavides pulled out the bayonet, got his knife, and killed his attacker, and kept moving. He ran about 75 meters under heavy fire, was wounded in the right leg, face, and head. Despite these painful injuries, he took charge and repositioned the team members and directed them to fire at the enemy so that the helicopter extraction vehicle could land and load the wounded and the dead team members. Despite his severe wounds and under intense enemy fire, he carried half the wounded team members to the aircraft. He then provided protection by running along the side of the helicopter and firing at the enemy as the helicopter moved to pick up the remaining team members. Despite intense enemy fire, he hurried to recover the bodies and classified documents. He was severely wounded in the stomach, on his back from grenade fragments. He was wounded again in the thigh while helping a wounded team member. Once the second helicopter extraction aircraft landed, and in spite of his many wounds, he began to carry his compatriots to the aircraft. On his second trip with the wounded, he was attacked from behind by an enemy soldier. In the hand-to-hand combat, he sustained additional wounds to his hands and arms before killing his attacker. He continued carrying the wounded to the helicopter. Upon reaching the helicopter, he spotted and killed 2 enemy soldiers who were rushing the aircraft. With little strength remaining, he made a last trip to ensure that all classified materials had been collected or destroyed and to bring in the remaining wounded. Only then, in extremely critical condition from his wounds and loss of blood, did he allow himself to be pulled into the aircraft. Benavides suffered a broken jaw and 37 bullet and bayonet puncture wounds. He was so mauled that he passed out and could not talk. When they got back to the base, they thought he was dead and was placed along a group of dead bodies. He was then placed in a body bag, and when a doctor knelt in front of him to check him before zipping the body bag, Benavides, who was not able to talk, gathered his remaining strength and spit in the doctor's face, letting him know he was alive. After his military career, Benavides was in demand as a speaker. He often spoke to civic groups, schools, and youth programs, and he would always tell them, education is the key to success. Bad habits and bad company will ruin you. He passed away on November 29, 1998, and was buried with full military honors at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery. We can be proud of our roots. We can be proud of where we have been. We can be proud of where we are and where we are going. Wish you a terrific Hispanic Heritage Month.
Now it's time for some more entertainment. Musical group El Orgullo del Valle. They play Mexican boleros from the past, Tejano music, and some English songs as well. The group members are Arturo Godoy, who plays guitar, Javier Guerra, guitar as well, Peter Soto, guitar, maracas, and vocals, Javier Soto, requinto and lead vocals, Nati Zuniga, guitar, and Alex Luna, bass guitar. Here is El Orgullo del Valle. Now it's my honor to introduce this year's 3 Hispanic Heritage Month mentors, starting with Olga Chavez. She's the former director of Diversity and Inclusions program for EPCC. She began her career in 1975 as a licensed professional counselor at the Logan Heights campus. She later became the head of the Women's Center, where services such as counseling, childcare, and ESL and human development classes were offered to students at community centers throughout the city. That led to the creation of the Adelante Mujer Conference, which she directed for 10 years. As Director of Diversity for EPCC, she, along with the Foundation Board, brought in $1.2 million for scholarships and numerous diversity events to include Hispanic heritage. She's now enjoying retirement with her family and does get to spend more time with her grandchildren. So please welcome in Olga Chavez.
I would like to thank the Diversity and Inclusion Programs and the Hispanic Heritage Committee for the honor of being recognized as one of the 2021 mentors. This recognition has a special meaning and one that is close to my heart, and I'm truly humbled and honored. And looking at this year's theme, Esperanza, a celebration of Hispanic heritage and hope, I reflect on my own family's journey. A mother who fled to the United States during the Revolution from Mexico, along with my grandmother and her family to El Paso. A daughter of a Mexican general who during the war fled with only the clothes on their backs. They had hopes of having a better future, but with that hope, they went through a long path of hardships, hard work, passion, and fortitude. My father, born in Arizona from a family of 12, was required to quit school after 3rd grade and go to work to help the family. Mom was in the first graduating class of Bowie High School. In those days, this was quite an accomplishment. Through their lifetime of 101 and 98 years, respectfully, they both accomplished many hopes and dreams. I am proud of their legacies. Although I was born in El Paso, I grew up here most of my life among these beautiful surroundings. I also had opportunities of visiting, living in other places and countries to seek out other avenues during my father's work and later through my husband's career. The beauty of our border culture is one that should be considered one in a million, no matter where your paths lead. I don't take that for granted. I too, like my parents, had hopes and dreams. One was education. I was a first-generation college student. I tell you this short story because it is one that so many that similar and not so similar families can relate to. My family's hopes were to have a better future. I too hoped to have a good future for myself and for my family, but hope does not stand alone. It comes with words like faith, self-confidence, hard work, diligence, pride, respect, support, and sometimes disappointments. But remember, disappointments are vehicles in a learning process. Our students need to hear our storytelling so that they can relate, reminisce, and be inspired to never stop hoping, dreaming, pursuing, and achieving. I have tried to pass on those same encouraging ways to my sons and grandchildren, to emphasize always to keep in the forefront that they are special, intelligent, hard workers, and supported. Hispanic Heritage is not just a monthly celebration, it is a commitment of these hopes, dreams, and successes that we sustain for a lifetime. Each generation and each special story building a stronger foundation for other hopes and dreams. For those of us who feel we have achieved some dreams and successes, there is still hope for a better tomorrow and a duty to continue to make a difference in someone else's life. Help others strive towards a basic ingredient for success, education. I had the honor of being part of EPCC since the beginning, along with many others. In retrospect, there were many challenges. However, years later, it is a success. I am glad to have been a small part in our students' lives of success. We all hoped that we would have an institution where many of our community would be educated. It was and it is a success for all. As Oprah Winfrey mentioned in one of her speeches, and I quote, "How we overcome is the ability to maintain our hope, a quality that is needed for a brighter tomorrow," end quote. Let us all continue to cherish this word, esperanza, hope, and make it better tomorrow. Thank you again for this honor and for allowing me to tell my story as a proud female Latina.
Our next mentor is Dr. Alfredo Gurrola III. He's an assistant professor of physics at Vanderbilt University, but he was born and raised in Socorro, where he attended Socorro High School and graduated as valedictorian. He was a 5-time UIL Math Texas State champ. Gurrola attended Texas A&M, where he received 2 degrees in math and physics and a PhD in physics as well. Gurrola's research addresses unresolved problems in science, such as the unknown identity of astronomical dark matter and the nature of dark energy. Dr. Gurrola has been recognized with numerous awards in his illustrious scientific and research career. So please welcome in Dr. Gurrola.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alfredo Gurrola, and I'd like to thank the El Paso Community College Diversity and Inclusion Program for the huge honor of being recognized as one of this year's Hispanic Heritage Mentors. It means a lot to me, and I'm humbled by this recognition. For anyone watching and listening to this video, the first thing I would like to say is that I am no different than most, if not all of you. Like most of you, I came from very humble beginnings. My parents come from humble beginnings, and my grandparents came from humble beginnings. As an example, my mom and her siblings used to pick onions to provide financial support for my grandparents. She also sacrificed some of her goals in order to provide the support that I needed at home as a kid so that I could be successful. My dad grew up in Segundo Barrio, which many of you know is one of the poorest neighborhoods in the United States, and worked multiple jobs in order to pay for his education, probably like many of you or many of your parents. The point is that this is part of our heritage, and I urge everyone to embrace it. I think that hard work and sacrifice is what defines us as Hispanics, and I'm here talking to you today not because I'm smart or because I was given all the best opportunities. Contrary to that, I would say that I am and have always been far from the smartest. And growing up in Socorro, I didn't always have access to the best opportunities. But my parents provided hope. They taught me to embrace my heritage and use it to strive for the things that I was passionate about. Like many of you, I spent my weekends and even some holidays putting down cemento, or with a shovel digging up the water line that was leaking. Like many of you, I spend weekends and holidays with the entire extended family helping to make tamales or tacos or burritos. All these experiences taught me the meaning of hard work and family and having someone to support our journey in life. So again, I urge everyone to embrace our Hispanic heritage and use it to find hope and inspiration in your endeavors.
Our last mentor is someone I know very well. Iris Lopez is one of my co-workers at KVIA who's an exceptional human being. She started her broadcasting career as Lily Lopez on 104.3 Hit FM and then made the transition to news at KVIA, where she works part-time now as a weather anchor, and she's also the creator of KVIA's Sunday Funday Moments. On top of being on TV, Iris is also the founder and executive director of Mija Yes You Can, a local nonprofit that aims to unite, encourage, and remind women and young girls that an equal world is possible. Iris is also a board member for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and she hopes to continue her work of empowering women and encouraging everyone to end the stigma behind mental health. She's a proud Montwood High and UTEP graduate. So again, welcome in Iris Lopez.
Well, hello, my name is Iris Lopez. I am a part-time weather anchor for KVIA, and I am the founder of Mija Yes You Can, nonprofit organization here in the El Paso community. I am honored and excited to be receiving this award from the El Paso Community College Diversity and Inclusion Program, Hispanic Heritage Mentor. It's something I honestly was surprised to get, but it's something I am very humbled to be receiving. Growing up, I always knew my Latina culture was such a beautiful thing. You know, my family come from a big Mexican family, and I just grew up loving that side of me. But I didn't really truly understand the impact of our culture, especially in this community, until I left high school and I went to college. I mean, El Paso Community College truly is the best place to start. And when I started here, I was introduced to, we're right here by the border, so we had students from all over, not just here in the El Paso community, but from Juarez as well and out of town. And I was able to really appreciate my culture and really appreciate and understand what it means to be a Latina, what it means to have a beautiful, big Mexican family. And from there, I went to UTEP. From there, I, of course, took my Spanish courses because I wanted to truly say I can, speak the language. I can't speak it that great, but nonetheless, I'm still learning. And that's the beauty of our culture. We're eager to teach people. We're eager to bring them in and to introduce them to what we grew up learning, what we grew up loving, our Latina, Mexican culture and family. For me, creating Mija Yes You Can was something that I felt like I needed to do and I wanted to do. I wanted to showcase that the Latina women in this community and all around us are just so powerful. We are strong. And, it's easy for people out there to pit women against each other, but I've learned that when all us women, despite our backgrounds and our, different where we come from, when we're able to come together, we can do so many things. And that's the beauty of this organization, is that it's Mija Yes You Can, English and Spanish, because we want to invite other women to come back and to understand what it is to be Latina, and we want to be introduced to their culture as well. So through this project, we help women in our community of all ages, of all backgrounds, and I hope we can continue to do this amazing work within the community, because the borderland is just a hidden treasure, and I am so glad to be a part of it, and I am so honored again to be receiving this award.
A big thanks to our mentors. How about some more entertainment now? Here's a performance by Elizabeth Benitez.
Hola, mi nombre es Elizabeth Benítez y hoy voy a cantarles un tango argentino que se estrenó en 1935 con letra de Enrique Cadícamo y música de Juan Carlos Cobian, arreglos del maestro Fernando Lechuga. Quiero emborrachar mi corazón para olvidar un loco amor que más que amor es un sufrir. Y aquí vengo para eso, a borrar antiguos besos en los besos de otras bocas. Si su amor fue flor de un día, porque causé siempre mía esa cruel preocupación. Quiero por los dos mi copa alzar para olvidar mi obstinación y más lo vuelvo a recordar. Nostalgias de escuchar su risa loca y sentir junto a mi boca como un fuego su respiración. Angustia de sentirme abandonada y pensar que otra a su lado pronto le hablará de amor. En vano, yo no quiero rebajarme, ni pedirle, ni llorarle, ni decirle que no puedo más vivir. Desde mi triste soledad, cielo gris. Quizás a ti te llena igual algún amor sentimental. Llora mi alma de fantoche, sola y triste en esta noche, noche negra y sin estrellas. Si las copas traen consuelo, aquí estoy con mi desvelo para ahogarlas de una vez. Quiero emborrachar mi corazón para después poder brindar por los fracasos del amor. Nostalgias de escuchar su risa loca y sentir junto a mi boca como un fuego su respiración. Angustia de sentirme abandonada y pensar que otra a su lado pronto, pronto le hablará de amor. Hermano, yo no quiero rebajarme, ni pedirle, ni llorarle, ni decirle que no puedo más vivir. Desde mi triste soledad ver caer las rosas muertas de mi juventud.
Now I want to send things over to Lidia Vasquez, and she's going to be the person who's introducing this year's Hispanic Heritage Month scholarship recipients. This will be the 7th year now that the HHM committee has been able to give out scholarships. A little bit about Lidia Vasquez herself, though. She's currently an assistant professor and district-wide coordinator for foreign languages here at EPCC, and she's been a member of the Hispanic Heritage Month committee and several subcommittees since 2016. She's chaired the scholarship subcommittee the last 2 years and is also a board member of the Association of Women in the Community College. She's currently also a member of the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages and the Texas Foreign Language Association, also the Texas Association of Chicanos in Higher Education. So let's give it up now for Lidia Vasquez.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. My name is Lidia Vasquez, lead for this year's Hispanic Heritage Month Scholarship Committee. I want to start by thanking the Scholarship Committee for reviewing the scholarship applications. This is the 7th year Diversity and Inclusion Programs with the Hispanic Heritage Month Committee has been able to award these scholarships. We had many strong applicants, and we are very happy to award 7 scholarships this year. Our Hispanic Heritage Scholarship recipients are Giselle Jimenez Galloso. Giselle was born and raised in Mexico City. In 2019, she moved to El Paso in search of a challenging academic opportunity. In January 2020, she enrolled at El Paso Community College, and she is pursuing an associate's in multidisciplinary studies. Vladik Martinez. Vladik suffered hearing and nasal problems as an infant, which affected him physically and socially before they were treated and cured. Through middle school and high school, he grew as a person and continues to do so. He is a student at El Paso Community College since fall 2020, and his major is biology. Melody Medina. Melody was born and raised here in El Paso. She is majoring in education because she loves children, and it has been her dream to make a difference. She loves creating art and wants to be a great example for her little sisters. Itzel Peña. Itzel wants to help businesses and individuals to make the right financial decisions. She enjoys accounting, working with taxes, analyzing, evaluating, and collecting financial data. Itzel is a freshman at El Paso Community College, majoring in accounting, business, and economics. Marianne Romo. Mary Ann was born here in El Paso, and she has lived in Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, and Nashville, Tennessee. She has attended different schools, but she says that by far, her favorite is El Paso Community College. She's majoring in psychology, and her goal is to become a forensic psychologist. Priscila Sosa. Priscila's major is education. She currently has a part-time job at an elementary school, trying to gain experience to be prepared for her future career. She has always known she wanted to become an educator, make a difference in people's lives, and help others succeed. Rogelio Vizcarra. Rogelio was born in Glendale, Arizona, where he lived until he was 6 years old. Then the family moved to Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, where he was raised. At the age of 16, he moved back to the United States and is currently enrolled at El Paso Community College with a major in civil engineering. Thank you once again for joining us, and congratulations to all this year's Hispanic Heritage Month scholarship recipients.
Big congratulations there to our scholarship recipients. Now we're in for even more entertainment. Olivia Calderon and Little Joe will be performing for us. Here's some background information on them. Olivia is a singer with international recognition. She began singing when she was just 8 years old, and since then, she's performed with some major musical acts, even performing as far away as Beijing. She's participated on the TV shows La Reina de la Canción and America's Got Talent. She's classically trained, graduating with a degree in musical performance from Northern Arizona University. But she's not only a talented singer, she also works as a detention officer with the Tempe Police Department. So please welcome in Olivia Calderon and Little Joe.
Se canta con alma y corazón, Olivia, y así cantas tú. Ya todo se me acabó, no me puedo resistir. Si voy a seguir sufriendo, mejor quisiera morir. Yo voy vagando en el mundo sin saber a dónde ir. Los años que van pasando, no me canso de esperar. Que estoy cantando, mejor quisiera llorar. ¿Para qué seguir sufriendo si nada puedo lograr? Las nubes que van pasando se paran a lloviznar. Parece que se sostienen cuando a mí me oyen cantar. Cantar, se paran a lloviznar. Parece que alegran mi alma con su agua que traen del mar. City surrounds him closely, the crowd seems to pass him by. His heart still back home in Texas, beneath his beloved sky, and life treats him so unkindly, he wishes that he would die. His life has become so empty, it's now just a broken sign. Filled with pride and courage, but all that has now subsided. He's now just a hollow storm cloud, adrift in an endless sky. Adrift in an endless sky, so lost to the world is he, a man who has been forgotten, alone with his misery. Alone with his misery, he dreams of his childhood days, though God children equal, we're different in many ways. Las nubes que van pasando se paran a lloviznar, parece que se sostienen cuando a mí me oyen cantar. ¡Échale con todo el alma, Olivia! ¡Así se canta!
What a great performance that was. Now I'd like to welcome in Dr. Andrew Peña. He's the Executive Director of Human Resources who currently oversees the Diversity and Inclusions programs here at EPCC. So Dr. Peña, take it away.
Thank you for joining us for today's Hispanic Heritage Month Mentors Recognition. I would like to once again say congratulations to our 2021 mentors, Olga C. Chavez, Dr. Alfredo Gurola III, and Iris Lopez. And a big thank you to our keynote speaker, Mr. Richard Castro. You all make a big difference in our community, and your stories and advice inspire us to keep moving forward. I would like to also congratulate all of our scholarship recipients and everyone who participated in our program. And last but not least, I want to once again thank this year's Hispanic Heritage Month committee members. Even though our events were virtual in nature, the spirit and meaning of this month remains the same. All of their hard work has paid off. So thank you, and until next year.
Well, that's all the time we have now for our program. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining us for our Hispanic Heritage Month Mentors Recognition Program. Although before we go, though, we would like to leave you with a performance from EPCC's Mariachi Tejanos, a very well-recognized group that has performed around the world. So we'll leave you with that. Enjoy the mariachi performance, and thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.